give that a little bit of a stress test. Joining me to discuss this is Justin Quill, partner at major law firm Thomson Geer. Justin, welcome to the show. Do you buy the claims made by Communications Minister Michelle Rowland that her new mis- and disinformation bill won't make ACMA an Orwellian-style Ministry of Truth?
No, I don't buy it at all. And you don't need to put much stress on it to see that that's just false. There's only really two options here. Either the Minister for Communications is spinning, and who would have thought the government's spinning something, or she hasn't read she hasn't read or understood the bill. Because this absolutely is about moderating content. What this does, and the way they've tried to spin it, and perhaps they've had some focus group that said, look, focus on, when you're talking here, focus on this being about holding big tech to account. That'll hit a nerve with the public. What they're talking about here is making sure the big tech delete and remove the posts that ACMA, that is the government in my view, don't want there, that they think is false, that they think is not accurate. And if they don't, they can fine them, and not just millions of dollars, billions of dollars, up to 5% of global turnover for Meta. That is 171 billion turnover. We're talking about $8 billion the fine could be. So absolutely, this is about moderating content. It's ridiculous to suggest otherwise.
And in fact, Justin, if we took what Minister Rowland on face value, then the bill would actually have no effect at all. You know, what would be the point of the bill if all of the things she had to say today were true? Coalition Communications spokesman David Coleman says the laws will give the bureaucrats substantial powers to determine whether or not enough steps are being taken to remove misinformation as the government defines it. And that last bit's the important bit, right? As the government defines it.
Exactly.
He then says the digital platforms will self-censor to avoid the big fines. And in the process, it's very likely that the legitimately held views of Australians will be shut down. Is he on the money?
Right. Yeah, he's absolutely on the money. And what the minister's trying to do is trying to rely on the structure of the Act to say, oh, this is not about attacking individual people's posts. Nobody's, and true it is that ACMA won't be writing to John Smith in the suburbs and saying, please remove your post. They won't be doing that. What they'll be doing, without John Smith knowing, is going to John Smith's social media platform and having John Smith's post removed by the platform. It's ludicrous to say that it's not about moderating content. It is. And do you think that's going to make John Smith say, oh, well, what I published must be false? No, it's going to reinforce in that punter's mind what he said was right, and it's going to have the exact opposite effect to the effect the government wanted to have.
This really does show, I think, the importance of people in our community making the case from first principles about the value of free speech. But if we accept just for a moment that there needs to be some policing of speech on social media, who do you trust more to do it, big tech or the government?
Well, I do trust big tech, because big tech are all about free speech. If they don't have free speech, I don't necessarily trust that they do it because they want to be wonderfully moral citizens. They do it because it's in their commercial interests to do it. Free speech drives their platforms. And ultimately, though, what we're talking about here is there is already enough legislation to call out. We've already got the Racial Discrimination Act that would stop racist abuse on online. We've got a myriad. We don't have enough time for me to go through the 1,000 pieces of legislation that already impact free speech, some of it appropriately so. This bill is not one of those in that category. It is not appropriate. It is way too far, and ACMA should not be the all-knowing, all-seeing, all deciding what is accurate, what is truthful.
Justin Quill, you make a very compelling case. Thank you very much for your time tonight.